We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another night of writing sprints or productivity sprints, or you do whatever you want sprints. You can watch videos in between. I don't care. You don't have to be productive. I'm not your mother. All right. So why don't we go ahead and introduce ourselves? Yeah. So I'm gonna start with CJ.
Hello, I am CJ Blair. I'm a writer of things. I don't know if I'm going to write tonight. I'm going to try.
Awesome. Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan Hazelwood. I am a writer of fantasy stuff, and I do writing tips and writerly musings and all kinds of randomness. And I think I'm going to be working on my space fantasy, but I might end up reading some paranormal romance novellas because I'm lazy. I got some queries in the trenches today. I submitted my YA fantasy to 4 agents and submitted 3 short stories to different places using the Grinder, which is very different than Grinder. Very different. It's like Query Tracker, but for short stories.
Gotcha.
And you can sort by like how much they pay.
Oh, very nice.
Right? So you're like anything like 10 cents or more? 5 cents or more per word? Yeah, tell me about it. Writer's life.
Yeah, right.
So I want to share some news. Just as we were going live, my brother-in-law messaged me. My niece she's 9 years old, and for the first time in her life, she's experienced the disappointment of a book that was turned into a movie, and the movie just wasn't as good.
I feel her pain.
It's such a coming of age moment, that first time you're disappointed by a movie.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, which movie was it?
Upside Down Magic.
I don't know that one.
I have no clue. She's 9.
Yeah, no, sometimes you hear about shit,
Yeah. Oh, it's a Disney thing. So.
Yeah. I hear Disney is notorious for changing things entirely because they feel like
it may have been, it's a Disney Channel original. So it's made for TV movie.
Oh.
So
That doesn't make it better.
that explains some of the issues, perhaps.
Maybe.
That is a fair point.
Yeah, that might.
Oh,
All right, so why don't we go ahead? Oh, I didn't introduce myself or talk to the chat. Good Lord, what am I doing? I am Sarah Sharnover. This is my channel, and I'm gonna work on I think Project 2021. So I will try to remember to put a link to the actual document down below, but I will only update it like once a day. So because I can't just keep going back to it, I'll be a nut. So yeah, that's the idea there. Let's see who is here. Jeannie was the first one here. Thank you, Jeannie, for coming. And CJ is in the comments trying to make me say duty. Aphrodite was here,
Say it.
had a migraine. So thank you for coming, Aphrodite, if you're still here. If not, thank you into the cosmos. Jeannie said Howl's Moving Castle, that she was disappointed by the book.
Huh.
That's interesting.
I have a rule. I don't watch the movie within a year of having read the book. So I'm enjoying them as two totally separate mediums and not just sitting there waiting for the thing to happen that I know is about to happen. Because I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy being like, oh, did they do the book as well? They're not. Books tell different types of stories than movies, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't really like get upset about it. It doesn't really bother me that much when they're different things because of that.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to get upset that something is different than it is, in a book.
I have levels of disappointment. Like,
yeah.
Like, there are things I've seen where, they didn't do as good a job telling the story in the movie as they did in the book. But because you're right, it's a different medium, they did a good job telling the story they told. And they stayed true to like the relevant themes in the book. Like, that's a big thing for me, is that you got to keep those themes. You got to keep the important characters.
Right.
Like, the ones that are kind of essential to those themes and the purpose. I've seen movies where they just cut a character completely that had significant, or they added a character that didn't make sense within the context of the story. But I've also seen where they like just took an absolutely different route and told a different story with the same, almost like telling a different story with the same characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if it's well done, I actually don't mind that.
As long as they call it something like inspired by so-and-so's this book.
Well, I think it depends on the kind of book.
True. Inspired by the
Because like, I think, like, I'm thinking about like The Dark Tower, which I know is very polarizing for a lot of people. But I really enjoyed both the series and the movie.
Yeah, me too.
Because of the content.
People really don't like it.
And here's my thing. You are more than happy, or more than like, I'm not going to be like, no, you can't have an opinion that's different than mine. But yeah, I'm with you, Spence. As long as they got the point of the book, I'm okay with that.
There's definitely been movies that decided to make a different point with the same material. And those are always a little iffy.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they make great points and it's a great reinterpretation, but very rarely.
And sometimes it's what they emphasized.
Mm-hmm.
So like, Good Omens. The book, like, I fell in love with the book, I don't know, like a decade ago.
Oh yeah.
And just like, I have read it. I might have it in like, I have a paperback version. I have it on Audible. I have the radio performance version, which is also very good. And when the Amazon miniseries came out, I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with that too.
Right.
So like, and each one of those, like, obviously the book and the audiobook are the same, but like the radio interpretation and the miniseries and the book, they emphasize different aspects of the story and emphasize different, like, different parts of the relationship between the two main characters,
Right.
but they all stay true to the point of that relationship, which
Yeah.
is lovely.
And I think part of that was how much influence they let, Neil have
Oh, absolutely.
in consulting, because so often, the writers, they take the story and they're like, thanks, goodbye, we don't want to talk to you ever again. So the fact that they let him be, basically a creative director and help sculpt it into, what was his and Pratchett's vision,
Right.
is, I'm sure, key for. And I mean, the story was written in the 90s. So
Yeah.
adapting some of the edgier things to make it more, touching on modern, it was cutting edge then. They're trying to make it still cutting edge with new modern interpretations. And I felt they did an excellent job. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I want you to know I watch it probably, I think I'm down to like every 6 weeks. I rewatch it because there's all these little things that I find, like as I watch it, I'm like, oh, I didn't see that the last time. And there's all these little Easter eggs, and they make me so happy.
Oh, I should definitely rewatch and reread. It's been a while.
All right. I suppose we should do a sprint, huh?
Yeah,
I
suppose that's what we're here for.
That's the thing we're here for.
Oh, I hear
Someone
that's
mentioned
the
it.
thing we're here for anyway. Here's the question: where does it show up on screen? Boop, boop. Oh, there. Okay, cool. I didn't know for sure, and I was trying to make sure it didn't show up like on one of our faces because I moved us all around.
Oh, I'd be okay with that. Straight.
Well,
But here,
it might
like it
distract
needs to be
other
here
people.
so it doesn't cover up my eyebrows.
Yeah, no, I couldn't. It doesn't have face tracking, dude.
Oh, that's sad.
I'm not quite that special. All right. So we are going to do a 15-minute sprint and see what we can do in that time. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start that in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, that is time. How did everybody do? Oh my God, Morgan turned old timey. We're gonna have
I
to
was
talk to you from the
mostly
past.
tired of having my face look like yeah, a lens flare.
That's fair.
So I was like, can I adjust the lighting? No, my face just glows in the dark today. You think the white door frame would like white balance it, but no.
Yeah,
So I figured old timey was the right solution.
I'm down. Hello, Mary. Welcome. Thank you for coming. I wrote. Hold on. I wrote
I got
236.
150. Oh, nice. I got 150 words
Woo woo.
Very nice.
and reread the entire chapter aloud in case you saw me talking to myself.
I assumed that's what you're doing.
I had a conversation with one of my students tonight about how it's perfectly fine to talk to inanimate objects. That is an acceptable form of communication.
I mean, who doesn't?
Apparently, there are people in the world who don't.
Yeah, there are.
But how do they get objects to stay put if they don't tell them to sit and stay?
I don't know. There's clearly some dark forces at work there.
Clearly. You put an object down and you say, sit, stay. And I do a lot of, come on, work with me here.
Yeah.
Hey, I do a lot of, are we really going to do this? Really? We're going to do this today. I wasn't talking to you.
You do it so much, your pets are trained for it.
Yeah, he turns around, he looked at me and was like, I wasn't talking to you. I want you to know he was very sick last week, and he has revived and is sassier than ever. And it's both lovely and annoying.
Yes. Been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Mr. Crowley's feeling particularly good, I'm like, I love you, dude, but can you shut the fuck up? Like, please.
Right?
Legit. I'm taking my vitamins.
Vitamins. Our biggest problem right now is that he has 2 pills and a syrup he has to take once a day. And he is not impressed with any of that.
Yeah.
And it takes both of us to do it. So like I have to hold him down and she has to get him to eat them.
Brought.
Yeah. So he doesn't trust us very much if we're in the same area. Like,
he now knows if you're together, that means it's time for the meds.
it's clearly time for the meds, even though we give it to him at basically the same time every day.
I mean,
And we haven't done it long enough that
he's not resigned yet.
he hasn't quite figured it out yet.
I have a friend who used to have a pair of diabetic cats,
Oh, yeah.
and they needed shots every morning. But sometimes the numbers fluctuated, and so they didn't always need the shot. And he ended up having to give whoever didn't need the shot a fake shot so they wouldn't feel left out. Cats don't care about shots one way or the other compared to pills.
Yeah.
That's really, yeah. My old cat, my very old cat who passed away, she had the same issues as Mr. Crowley. So she had severe kidney disease. And she had to have fluids. At the end, she had to have fluids every day. And she was unimpressed, but could be bribed to sit through it with treats.
I mean, okay.
And it wasn't that she particularly, it was more like she found it annoying and was less annoyed when there were treats involved.
Yeah, when Crowley can tell when Travis is coming to do the fluids, and he goes. When Travis picks him up, and then he'll eat, sometimes he'll even run away from Travis at the end of it, about 1 out of 5 times he runs away. But as soon as he hears the treat container open, he runs back out. And Dreamer thinks that she is doing something amazing as well. So, she sees that he picks up Crowley to get Crowley his fluids, and she's like, oh, it's almost time for us to get our treats, because Crowley's going to be so good when he gets his shots. And then she'll, sit and watch him get his shot sometimes, and then just be like, it's time to get our treats.
She was very good and watched him getting his shots.
Him be good.
To be fair, she didn't do anything dumbass during that time, true. Generally. I mean, she could get a treat for that.
They're dumb. Dumb dorks. They're my dumb dorks, but they're dumb dorks.
That is true. Sir, that is not a good place. That is fine.
All right, do we want to do another sprintaroo?
I would say yes.
All right.
Is that where we write words and stuff?
I mean, you can do whatever you want to. You want to, I don't know, you can write a letter of Satan if you want to. I don't care.
I hear he writes back.
You might.
Really?
In theory.
But the paper's going to smell like sulfur.
And probably a hint of brimstone.
I mean, I make deviled eggs. I'm used to my house smelling a little like sulfur. When you boil 18 eggs.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And steal them all.
I have a deviled egg on my car. My friend she makes stickers and stuff. And it's a little deviled egg with devil horns. And it's super cute.
I once, for a baby shower, dyed the deviled eggs spots so it looked like little dinosaurs, and then I put little dinosaur figurines in each.
That's super cool.
Have I ever told you about the Duggars and deviled eggs?
The what?
I do know
the
this
Duggar
story.
family. The Duggar family do not call them deviled eggs because they're the Duggar family and they're afraid of everything.
Right.
They call them
Yellow angel pocket eggs.
I think that's what it is. Let me double check. Yellow pocket angel eggs.
Yellow pocket angel eggs.
Because even their eggs cannot be deviled.
That would be bad. It would lead them down the path of unrighteousness.
It took my mind a minute to register what they were talking about. And then, as I processed it, I got angrier and angrier. And I'm like, why can't you just say deviled eggs? It's not that fucking serious.
But it is.
So I am officially the deviled egg maker for family gatherings. And for Christmas this year, I got 2 pot holders and a towel that say...
Naughty chickens.
That's funny.
Lay deviled eggs on the other side.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Oh. Sir?
Those are cute.
That is adorable.
They are ridiculous. And it's hard to get it because you just look at one side and you're like, naughty chickens, what? That's weird.
I mean, that's funny in and of itself.
Right.
Right. So yeah. That was part of my Christmas.
Yeah,
that's lovely.
It had nothing to do with anything other than just me being horrified that somebody was that upset about deviled eggs.
Pocket eggs, angels. What was it?
Yellow pocket angel eggs.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah, I want to know if they eat devil's food cake or if that's also got a different name.
They call it
Probably.
angel's food cake, which is not the same thing.
No,
No. What about chocolate angel's food cake?
they might.
Maybe.
Probably. Oh my goodness.
But apparently metaphors are lost on some people and just too uncomfortable.
I know. Here's the thing. Having grown up in the conservative evangelical church, yeah, when you're afraid of everything, you find ways to avoid it no matter what.
Has to be fucking exhausting.
Even if you're ridiculous. It is.
Like that's one of the other things about it is like somebody at some point stopped and said deviled eggs. Wait, we really can't be doing that. And it's like you spent your mind power to decide not to say deviled eggs. I'm very stunned by this. Just eat the delicious eggs and move on. Hello,
I
Red
suppose
Girl.
Whatever makes you like happy, but I don't know, feeding into your own fears that I don't know.
I feel like you could spend your time better on other things.
Yeah. And there are lots of things in the world to be afraid of.
Yeah.
That like
That's so reassuring. Thank you, CJ.
you're welcome.
The whole
I'm just
fucking
saying
continent
that
of Australia is terrifying.
there are other things that you could be afraid of and like focus on, but I don't know. They seem to focus on. Yeah, I have thoughts about that.
All right, so let's actually do that sprint we were talking about. We're going to start
We
another
should.
one, 15 minutes, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Do
crap.
some things. Don't say, oh, crap. right, that is time, y'all. How did you do?
I finished reading a paranormal romance novella, and Facebook showed me a picture of chicken drumsticks where it carefully let us know that it only contains back legs of a chicken.
Oh, I was real worried about that.
Right? I thought it would be front legs.
Do chickens have front legs, or is that what we call the wings?
They have wings.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what? Nope, I don't understand. How did everybody do?
I got some things. I'm trying to make my notes match up to each other. So, like, I have a list of, like, I have a family tree list, and then I have a monarch list, and I need them to, the ones that match, I need the dates to match. I can't have two different dates because that will confuse me later.
Yes.
So I'm trying to make them match, and it requires some math, but I'm getting through it. It's slow. And having this gentleman.
Yeah, they're helpful, aren't they?
Side delay right here is exceptionally helpful.
Your lipstick got lost in the air for a second.
Yeah, it happens.
A couple of times, both the eyebrows and my lips were like over here. And I'm like, okay, wait, come back. Come back to my face. Come on, find my face. It'll be okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Mary Wembley worked on a scene for a side story. Spence did some warm-up sketches and started painting in their sketchbook.
That's lovely.
The story may go into my prequel. That's exciting. I got 240. That's not too shabbily dabbly. So yeah. Bum bum bum. Anyone else have any progress in the chat there?
Doing the things.
My ankle is.
I am knotting the ends of my pew ropes.
Oh,
Ooh.
That's exciting.
My brother-in-law decided he wanted to learn to knit.
Ooh, is he liking it?
He asked my mother for what he should get and ordered the stuff today.
Is he getting a kit? Because I feel like getting a kit is a really good choice to start with.
He's getting, let's see. Trying to remember. What did he say? I have the chat. Where'd it go?
I feel that.
-2 wind chills. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he's just getting
block.
yarn and some sticks. And
Yeah, that's okay. Well, if he wants another size, let me know. I have extras.
my mother has basically, one of those back of the door shoe racks.
Okay, I feel better about mine.
Pockets, and she's got like different size needles in each of them.
So my mother is getting rid of different things. And one of the things she got rid of was her knitting case. And it's something she made herself. But okay, I have to shut you because it's really adorable.
Sure.
So first of all, she made this in the 70s. So it's a ridiculous color. Like,
Ooh.
Oh wow!
it's a really cool color, but it's got it's a roll
Yep.
of all the knitting needles. And you just roll it up.
I've seen artists with those for their pens and their markers and stuff too.
Right? Like this is, so I remember this growing up. This was always, my mother had a,
Did she have the tomato with the pens in it?
she did.
You guys
But she
have
had
the
this,
pens.
she had this big dresser that was made out of reclaimed wood.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really cool, but it was really heavy. And when they moved from their last house into this house, my dad said, I'm not moving it again. We're getting rid of it. We don't need to keep it anymore. We've had it for 40 years. We don't need it. So they did end up selling it, or I don't know exactly what they did with it, but it was one of the, like, it was where my mother kept all her crafting stuff. So she cross stitches and she knitted and she crocheted and she sewed. And so like each drawer was like a treasure trove of different things. Yeah. So that's what she made. And she gave me all of her knitting needles.
Oh, yay.
But now I have too many.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting rid of those because I have enough of those two sizes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give them to Google, or possibly. I've been looking so there's a place here in town that offers free classes. So I was thinking maybe I could donate them there, or I don't know.
Yeah, or art classes.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Or
maybe
community centers. Old folks' homes, you know?
Oh, I didn't think about, like, that's the thing, is like finding a place that would benefit from them and not just giving them, like, Goodwill isn't bad, or it's
depends on the
local secondhand shop.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, he has a newborn due in less than 12 days. And he said he wants to learn to knit.
I mean, more power to him.
Right? My mother, on the other hand, so my niece is 9, and her sister, who's due any day now, is obviously unborn. Is 0 right now. So there's a 9-year difference, almost 10 years. And my mother is like working her way through all the pink yarn she bought the first time around. Because she thought she was going to have more time for knitting than she ended up having.
I feel that.
So she's like, I have so much yarn. Because, my late stepdad was sick and they thought he was going to do chemo again, but his numbers never got up high enough. So she didn't do as much sitting around as she thought she was going to in, places that weren't home.
Right.
So, but yeah, so much. My mom's done little sweaters and little booties and like 4 baby blankets, and my cousin is doing April. And so like both of them have more knitted things than they know what to do with at this point, I think. And my cousin's mom, my aunt, also knits, so they're going to have receiving blankets for years.
Which is good. Sort of. I mean, if they end up having more children, I mean, that's
right, yeah. So.
Eva, hello, Eva.
I have a lot of yarn myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 like overnight bags worth up here, plus I think a bin of it downstairs. I think I still have a bin downstairs that I haven't gone through.
So there's this truism I keep running across, that crafting and collecting craft supplies are 2 different hobbies.
They are.
So true.
So my former roommate, when we lived together, her job was crafting. Like she crocheted. And it started out as she lost her job when she had her second child. That's a whole nother story. Yeah. And she didn't, like, she was a single parent, so she didn't have enough money to pay for daycare. So until the kids went to school, that's how she
supplemented. Yeah.
That's how she supplemented. And she started out just making hats, like just crocheting hats. And then she got more more creative as the time went on, and she learned more stitches and she learned more patterns and stuff. But so I lived with her for 8 years.
Okay.
And then there was a year between when I moved out and a year after I moved out, she got married.
Okay.
And she and her new husband and her 2 kids moved out of state. The amount of yarn that she moved. Like, I sometimes worry about my 2 bags and a bin worth of yarn. She had, I think she said 8 bins.
My bestie has been a seamstress before, is a quilter, and her mother used to work at G-String Fabrics.
Oh, she just has a room full of fabric, doesn't she?
So it used to be a small living room with, like when you have a room wrapped around in bookcases, only they're full of fabric.
Right.
Now it fills half the basement. The shelves of fabric and quilting batting and
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I bumped my camera and now it can't find me. Oh, there we go.
I've been there.
So the tree is coming down this weekend.
Yes, I agree, Ava. Similar for buying books. I have a problem getting rid of books.
Yeah, no, I don't get rid of books.
Oh, no, I get rid of books.
I know, you're weird.
We only have so much shelf room.
My mom's a librarian. So
I don't like throw away books unless there's a reason to. Like when I left college, there was a textbook, and I don't remember what it was, but it was a textbook that I stuck somewhere, and I found it like 4 years later, and it was like so out of date that it was embarrassing and could not be used any longer. I was like, well, that one's just got to get recycled. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. You just don't have information anymore.
Yeah.
Because it was like a science book or something, and the science that it was about had changed or something. But
yeah,
basically when I looked it up, they were like, yeah, that edition isn't really even usable at this point. So I was like, okay, well, I can recycle that one. But everything else gets a different home.
So I've apparently not been paying close attention to science stuff because I didn't realize that the concept of antimatter and the concept of dark matter were 2 different things.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Right? I just like skimmed over that. And I knew dark matter was this and antimatter was that. But for some reason in my head, they were the same thing as well.
I understand that.
But my boyfriend is convinced that dark matter, which they've made up just to explain why gravity is not as strong as it is, as it should be, and what's going on. It fixes a hole in the standard model. He's pretty sure the standard model's just wrong because it's way too hacky. And
it's adorable.
He might be right.
I know, but it's so cute.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. I have no clue why I got on that topic. How did I get there?
We were talking about,
I don't know.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. I didn't.
Oh, Sarah was talking about her science book.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. and talking about.
I knew there was a connection.
I knew there was. It just didn't matter that much to me. I honestly don't. I don't know how to have a real conversation like a normal fucking person. So how am I going to point the finger at somebody else?
I'm of the opinion that normal conversations are overrated. My brother-in-law despises how we talk at our family gatherings because no one finishes a story. And there's always 3 conversations going on at once.
That's fair.
And it drives him nuts.
Yeah.
My sister, despite being my sister, is not comfortable with cutting in to get her sentence in, which in my family means she doesn't get to talk, and then she gets angsty and grumpy.
Aww.
So I try to like football. I'm like blocking for her. Hey, I think Amanda was trying to say. Because me, I'll just like elbow my way into the conversation. You may have noticed. I think I talked over Sarah 3 times already tonight. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. I don't even notice.
Okay.
But we should do another sprint because it's almost 8:15, and we've only
right.
done 2. So
I can get some words.
let's do another 15 and see if we can do some things.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and go in 3, 2, 1, go. Holy crap. I missed the thing and I was typing and so it clicked it and turned it off. So sorry about that, guys. That was time. I was typing and it like, before it even went off and made noise, it just was like gone. I'm like, oh, okay.
That sounds about right.
Guess I'm
I
good.
wrote 7 words.
Hey.
Ooh.
I was browsing Facebook and then I saw the timer at like 1 minute. I was like, ooh, let me try and get it. Oh, and we're done.
I got 144, so it wasn't much. But
I finished up my numbers,
Hey.
got everything balanced, all looked right. I really enjoy, so Scrivener has this function where you can look at 2 different, they're not different documents, but different documents, 2 different sections at the same time, side by side, which is really helpful. And you could do that with like 2 different files or whatever. It's really nice to have it in the file. Anyway, I really enjoyed that. So I got that done. And then I went down to the next thing that I have to make work.
Legit.
word.
I complained about the fact it's been 3 hours and the agents that I queried haven't gotten back to me on a Friday evening.
Yeah, what the fuck's their
How
problem?
Dare they?
Apparently, it's like 3 to 9 weeks, not 3 to 9 hours for a response on a query.
So rude.
So,
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I was mostly whining to the internet.
I hate reading aloud, Laura, so please, you guys read Laura's excerpt, but I'm terrible. I'm terrible at reading aloud, so I don't do it if I can help it.
An unearthly sound caressed his ear, slight at first, but now distinct. A slithering, sucking noise he was unfamiliar with. Wet slaps against the floor echoed from down at the end of the cavern, where Frederick now noticed was a shoreline, an underground lake.
Dun dun dun! Thank you for reading that. I appreciate it, because I am a
I
stumbling
like
bitch.
the slithering, suckling noise. That was interesting.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I digs it. Let's see. Spence said, did a stupid little landscape in my sketchbook? That's not stupid. It's cute
Yeah.
AF, and it's bothering me for some unknown reason. I hate that. When, like, you know something's wrong, you can't put your finger on it, and you like it, but at the same time, you're like, I know there's something that I want changed, and I don't know what it is. And started chicky nuggies in the air fryer, which I vote yes on.
Isn't the whole it looks right, but something's not quite working the entire story of being a writer?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
I mean, that sounds like my life, so.
It's a fair point. And Mary got a little further on their scene. So yeah.
We are all moving forward. Yay for
are.
us.
We are.
Reaching forward slowly. Slip. What was it?
Slithering, suckling.
Noise of the suckers, I guess.
Oh.
Dun dun dun. So yeah. Yeah, that's where my life's at. My foot hurts.
You should delegate the foot pain to the politician of your choice and or judges who issue no-knock warrants.
I mean, or like, I don't know, just people who annoy me probably. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Like I'll give it to the neighbor guy who reshovels after I shovel because my womanness cannot be trusted to shovel. Let's give it to him.
My 9 months pregnant sister was threatening to reshovel after her husband did the stairs in the sidewalk because
It wasn't good enough.
it was not good enough and she did not want to slip on that. And she's like, oh my God, that was the most half-assed thing I ever saw. But he shoveled. Can I complain? But I really want to redo it. And he just keeps dumping salt on it and it keeps refreezing into an ice slick on the stairs. She was a little frustrated.
Yeah, no,
I
this
can see
guy
that.
just I don't know, he mansplained it to me without speaking. Like he just went and like fixed my shoveling behind me on my property.
Okay.
All right, bro.
That's
If you
some
wanted to
bull-
shovel it that bad, you could have just let me know.
Yeah,
I
I
would've
wouldn't have
stayed
gone out
inside.
and done the work, right?
I do try to like shovel the sidewalk for like my neighbors if I get to it first. 'Cause,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
he watched. I saw him. I made eye contact with him when I was finishing. Oh no.
whatever.
Yeah.
That's some
Weirdo. There's
And
a house the next block over that does not shovel at all.
Mhm.
And they have a very large dog that craps in their front yard. And when there's no yard to be seen, it just craps wherever.
Yeah.
And it's a very large dog, so there are very large craps.
and they clearly don't give a crap.
Not at all.
Yeah, the only one who gives a crap around there is that dog.
Yeah, that is exactly.
He does his best, gosh darn it.
There's also, so I walk in the mornings when
Okay.
it's not too cold. I went out this morning and let me tell you, 14 degrees with I think it was 2-degree wind chill, and it's gone down since then. Is not walking weather,
No.
not walking outside. But normally when I go, there's a house down the street that has a Pomeranian, and the Pomeranian, it's a black Pomeranian. So it's like this little black fuzzball.
Right.
And a the one everybody's scared of, pit bull.
Pitbull.
Oh.
The pit bull is the friendliest, sweetest girl in the whole world. And she wants to play every time I pass. And they have a fenced in yard. Like, I'm not concerned at all. The puffball is a tiny ball of
Yeah.
fury.
Oh yeah, no, always. The tiny dogs are the jerks.
And it will run. So their side yard is pretty long, and as I walk by, it will run and bark at me the whole time. And the other dog thinks they're playing, and she's just smiling and like, oh, are we gonna play? Oh, we're gonna play. And the other dog's like, I will kill you. I will rip out your face. Yes, I agree, Spence. If that dog's name isn't Fizzgig, they're wrong.
That's fair.
I had a Pomeranian growing up. It
Did
was
you?
Not breed standard. It was an 18-pound pom, and half of that was being oversized, not just overweight. So it was,
Yeah.
dogs tend towards generic mutts if they're not carefully bred, and it was trending back up. And our neighbor shot the dog with a BB gun.
Why?
We felt because they would walk across our backyard and the dog would bark and run alongside because they're walking in our yard. And they would kick at the fence and decided to shoot our dog. The dog was totally fine. I mean, it yelped and had like it in the fatty tissue as a BB, but shot our dog walking across his yard and going to shoot the dog for complaining because you're walking across our yard.
Some people are fucking mental.
Yeah, they are.
And
Some
we didn't
people are
find
also
out
just looking for something to shoot at. Like,
about- oh yeah,
those
yeah.
people do exist.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes our dogs barked at night, but not for more than 2-3 minutes, and then it would quiet down or whatever. It
Yeah.
was probably a deer,
Yeah.
So it was just, yeah.
People are jerks.
Yeah.
So on a friendlier topic, I have a plan for this weekend, and CJ reminded me of it.
Oh, tell me your plan.
Sitting there with her crochet. What are you doing?
I'm tying knots. No, this is crochet. I'm tying up the ends so that there's weight. Ooh. Oh, that's so pretty.
It's cats and yarn.
It's lovely.
So I'm not thinking it's going to get finished this weekend, but it's going to get worked on. So
How many pieces is it?
1,000.
That's not too
You know, I
shabby.
used to really enjoy puzzles, and then I worked at a nursing home for a while, and I used to go. There was one lady who would only go to her radiation treatments if I took her.
Hmm.
Um, and that has nothing to do with me specifically. It's just people get attached to other people, and
Yeah, no,
but
that's fine.
but what the waiting room at the radiation clinic had puzzles in it, and
Hmm.
so now all I think about is taking this woman to her radiation treatments, and she's like fine now. Like it's not like it's like I remember watching this woman die. Like it's not like
Right.
that. She's fine now. She actually like her treatment went really well.
Good.
But it's like a weird recollection that every time I think of puzzles, I think about radiation treatments.
I mean,
And that's not exactly pleasant.
No, and it's
so
weird because I've never had radiation treatment, so
uh, there are definitely ways you can do that. I know a couple jobs ago, there's this one spot in the hallway where once or twice I thought about, oh, I want to do this thing after work. And then every time I walked by that spot, it would make me think of that one thing.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah,
it's weird the way the brain triggers stuff.
yeah.
But we should try to get one more sprint in because I would like to get a few more words.
Yes.
Me too, because 7 was a bit sad.
Underwhelming.
I hate that
Underwhelming.
though when you're like, I'm just gonna do this dicking around thing over here for like 2 minutes and then I'm gonna focus, and you're like, okay, my 2 minutes have to be up, and then you're like, oh, I mean 15. 15 minutes are up. Sorry about that, brain.
Yep, yep.
That is a thing.
Where's my document? Which tab is it on? There we go. Now my face glows in the dark. Look at
Yeah,
that.
that'll happen.
Ooh.
I did throw a filter on you guys so you're a little less reflective.
I appreciate that.
I mean, CJ's not glowing in the dark, but
I will be. Look at this.
um,
Ooh.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, although the filter does help a lot with that too. It's not great, but it does help. The
Yeah.
filter's on OBS though, not on Zoom, so
Right.
it's not as good. So,
Yep.
All right.
all right, so let's do another 15. I am gonna get more than 10 words, and I am gonna also rock out to these next couple songs because I was having a good time
Because
rocking
they
out to
look
some songs.
rockin'.
I have been rocking. I shared a song in the chat, so if you guys want
Yeah.
to listen to some Weird Al, there you go.
Thank you.
I mean, that's how I always.
Are you gonna listen to Tacky?
No, I am. Next is Close But No Cigar, and
Okay.
then Jizz in My Pants, and I'm on a Boat by Lonely Island.
I mean, obviously.
So
I
that's
noticed the
what's up
transition
next.
there.
This is just like a collection of music I have slowly added to over the years.
Right.
So it's like it's mostly comedy music though. So because that's
Right.
mostly what I listen to be real. Tacky is a long way down.
Yeah.
Oh, Twin Peaks by MC Chris. That might have to happen too. All right.
Sure.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go! Before Sarah talks herself out of it. All right, that is time. How did everyone do with the last one?
I found a Google Docs dark mode extension that didn't work.
Oh, thank
I
you
was
for
very
coming,
sad.
Jeannie. I got 114. I'm starting to ramp down, I think. I haven't written in quite some time. I've been editing so much, so I think I just need to roll back into like actually making words come out.
I got 344,
Ooh,
Nice.
which I feel pretty good
that's a good one.
about. I got a little bit more done. My biggest problem with like, so I'm working through kind of some world building things. One of my biggest issues is the like country of good guys, sort of. Recognizing where, because no country is perfect, and recognizing where the imperfections are, and like making those, like the country can't be a Mary Sue.
Right.
Yeah.
It needs some faults. It needs whatever the economy is built out of. It needs to have some failings. It needs to have, like, it needs to be realistic. And so
Right.
figuring out what that is, like, and of course, my biggest problem with world building is nothing happens in a vacuum. Everything has a cause and everything has an effect. And like trying to find that line between every detail of every cause and effect and the things I need to know to write the freaking story.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Yeah, Laura's viperfish octopus abomination is now visible to the main character. Time for the chase to
Ooh,
begin.
isn't
Frederick
losing
is
it
going
fun?
down.
Laura, have you ever seen or played Subnautica?
Camille has a Subnautica problem. If you guys know Camille Myrick, she has a Subnautica problem. She might argue it's not a problem. I think it's a problem. I can see her Steam activity. She's on that bitch a lot.
I would like to watch her play that game. I really enjoy watching people play that game.
I've
I
never
am
played it, but-
intrigued. It's in my wish list, and I'm
It's on mine
intrigued
too, I
by
think.
the idea. But I'm also pretty convinced, having seen some of the things in that I would crap my pants frequently in that game.
I
And
mean,
maybe not as frequently as I think, but
yeah. Yeah. You could just buy some adult diapers for Subnautica time.
these are only to be worn when playing Subnautica.
For when I poo myself.
I mean, you know, things happen.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour, so it is time for us to wrap up. And my lipstick's gone, so that's also a timer.
Your lips still look pretty dark.
Yeah, but it's pretty splotchy.
Oh, okay.
My tongue doesn't look bright red anymore. Earlier when it was like black, my tongue looked like red.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Anyway, so let's do the opposite way. We'll start with Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan Hazelwood. I am a writer of fantasy. You can also find me sharing writing tips and writerly musings on my blog, and my podcast. I'll be live streaming and maybe getting more than 150 words in on Sunday at 4:30 Eastern. And Sarah's awesome.
In the event that I don't decide to injure myself in some way, and I am conscious like a normal person at that time, I would like to come Sunday. So that is in my future.
And just watch. You'll say yes, and then my sister will go into labor.
Yes,
and I'll
that's what'll happen. That's what'll happen. keep me informed about that situation so that I know.
I will.
Okay, Spence said I'm trying to get Camille to buy Borderlands 2 so I have a new person to play it with. And Handsome Jack is one of the best villains ever. I don't think I could play that because it's like first person and I have a really hard time. It's very rare that I can play a first person game. Because my motion sickness is incredibly touchy. So, but if anybody, like, I play Raft with CJ that I managed to play. I'm trying to think if there's any other games I play that are first person. I don't think there are. I don't think so. Hold on. Let me open Steam. CJ, why don't you do your outro and I'll look up on Steam and see if I can find anything that's first person.
Okay.
I play.
My name is CJ. I am a writer of things. You can go down below and follow me on Twitter. I'm an excellent retweeter. And also my free YA fantasy serial, South Deer Island Chronicles, is down there as well. And someday in the future, I will update it.
Gotcha. All right. All of my links are down below in my link tree, and don't forget to hit their links. I do play We Happy Few, but here's the thing is that I've had We Happy Few since November, and I've only logged 2.4 hours because sometimes I'll play it and get sick like 2 minutes in. So, and that's like, that's not so big of a deal because I'm playing it by myself, but like if I planned to play with somebody and we get all set up and 2 minutes in, I'm like, I'm gonna puke. I'd be the most annoying fucking person to play one of those games with. So, and
knowing you'd be annoyed with yourself too.
Yeah, and I think Phasmophobia is first person. I haven't played enough of that to know how nauseous that makes me, honestly. But yeah, those are like the only first person games I play. But I do love a good co-op game.
Yes.
I like Stardew Valley. What else can you play co-op that I play? Let me think.
Raft.
Well, yeah, Raft. Obviously I like Among Us, which is sort of co-op, sort of not. It's co-op for most of us, and then there's one murdery fucker. I play Demons Are Crazy, which I think is an MMO, but I play it by myself. Oh, Fuckface has it on her list. By the way, you can name people all by yourself in Steam. So CJ's name is Fuckface, and Camille's name is Camille's Dumbass. And my favorite thing in the world is when I see things like Camille and I will be chatting on Steam, and it'll say Camille's Dumbass is typing. It makes me so happy.
Oh, man.
Castle Crashers. I will look it up. All right. So, yeah, if you have game suggestions, leave them in the comments when we're done here, because I'm about to switch.
So I realized a couple of weeks ago that at some point in the past, I bought Slime Rancher.
Oh, did you?
I am not sure when. I have never played it, but I have it. And now it intrigues me. And I think that one's first person.
I think that one will be fun, though. I've heard good things.
He's over Among Us. Aw.
Who's over Among Us?
Mary's son. Rude.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are tired of like the same maps over and over again. So I think when the new map drops, people will probably feel a little different. So, and that could be like any time now. So that might change. But yeah, I did look at Castle Crashers. I will look at that again, like more in depth, because I don't have any money right now. But that's the thing. So, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I am going to go ahead and pop us back into our end of stream things. So thank you guys for being here. And I will talk to you guys all later. I have a video on Friday, or a video on Sunday, in theory, as long as I don't fuck up. So
as long as you don't attack the ground again.
Yeah. Yeah. That bitch won too. All right.
The ground attacked her?
Pretty sure she made the first move.
I don't know. I think my ankle made the first move. All right.
Your ankle is part of you.
Yeah, but my ankle made its own move inside of itself.
Oh, okay.
It had nothing to do with the ground. My ankle twisted itself. Like, I fell because I sprained my ankle.
Right.
So, it was the snow, the unevenness, that I sprained my ankle. So, anyway.
Stupid snow.
All right, so we'll see you guys all next week, 7 p.m. Central. All right, bye.